I went to boarding school in West Virginia for high school. That is important context. Only
West Virginia?
West Virginia. West Virginia.
Lord, isn't that like crawling with military?
You know, my boarding school used to be a military school that didn't let in women or blacks.
Well, shit.
I think this is also really funny because a couple of weeks ago I was having big walk down Pop Lane because what happened was I never heard any Taylor Swift music, right? And my
Uh-huh.
guest was there. Like my guest was actually there to hate on Taylor Swift, but I never heard it. So I was like, okay, well, play her best. I was like, I don't want to just come into Taylor Swift line hating. Like, so I was like, play her best and play what you're saying is her worst. And then she starts playing like the worst songs from the worst songs from a new album, and I'm like, not me liking them because I like this
I'm
music.
Listen, honestly, I'm not hating on this latest album. I know everybody else is, but I'm really not.
I'm telling you. And so in the course of it, they're like, they were like, oh, maybe like they were like, white pop girls are not like used to like dissing. That doesn't happen in white pop world. I was like, lies, lies. I grew up on what are you talking about? And I had to like show them Lindsay Lohan and Hilary Duff. And now let's go all the way back. I'm like, my girl Christina. And I was like, what do you mean the pop girlies this? But I was going down like
Shots
my
are
pop
fired in all
lane.
regards in every state, every genre, every
Yes,
genre.
absolutely, absolutely. So it's so funny because I'm like, oh, I'm telling y'all all about my pop girl loves, and then let me come bring my pop girl loves. Uh,
I love
oh,
it.
you've never written a diss song though. Hey, you don't be
Mm,
dissing nobody.
To my
No.
ex, maybe.
And you know what? Valid as it should be. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
a couple times, couple times.
yes. Okay, but tell me about your new single.
Yes, my new single's called Ego. It's the first drop off the upcoming album. And it's more like, kind of it's pop like alternative vibes.
Yes.
And I'm just kind of like exploring my ego and the way that I interact in relationship, right? So in the first half of the song, I'm talking like to the person and I'm like, we can't connect because you're guarded and you're this and you're that. And then
Yeah.
by the second verse and chorus, I'm like, I internalize that and I'm like, actually, like, it's my own ego that's keeping me in situations that don't serve me. So
Oh, and you
kind
know
of
what?
that.
That's such a like I guess a nice spin on it because normally when you think of ego, you would think of it as like, oh, like my ego is what's making me not appreciate you. Someone's like, actually, no, my ego is what's keeping me doing bullshit. Actually, like
Yeah, because for me, at least, my ego is very much about wanting to be perceived as a good person and
yeah,
wanting to be perceived as like, you know, this like just someone who's thoughtful and considerate and all these things. And I feel like in relationship that doesn't serve me all the way because sometimes you just have to make the choice that this person isn't good for you, and you have to that choice kind of interferes with that perception of self because you're like, I don't want to be the one to hurt them, I don't want to be the one to break this off because
that
then
was me in my
I'm the bad
20s.
guy.
That was me all in my 20s, like deeply
Me too, bitch.
worried.
I'm 29 now and I'm like, okay,
Right.
finally writing a reflective song, like maybe I'm the villain, like maybe I am
Maybe I
the
gotta
drama.
chill. You know what it was? Like in my 20s, I had like that combined with like Captain Save a Nigga. Like I loved like, oh, you have a
Oh,
problem?
exactly. And that's the thing is like that's the ego talking because it's like I had this savior complex as fuck of like
Mm,
I can save everybody. I still kind of do a little bit. I'm
yeah.
working on it. But that, it's like this internalized saviorism of like I can be the person to fix them. I have journal entries where I would like meet somebody and I'm like, "Oh my god, these all these different ways that they need to heal. I can help them." And I'm like, "Bitch, what the like why are you getting into relationships with that intention?"
I honestly think that's how a lot of people, like most people, approach relationships in the sense that I feel like this is what I feel like was in my 20s. I feel like people meet a person and they like try to get like an idea in their life, like a pie, and they look for like quadrants on that pie that aren't good, aren't together, and to see if like they can improve it. It's like people feel like we feel the need to like show our worth. Like how I audition to like be good to you is like, what in your life can I improve? And if we don't see anything
Exactly.
in that person's life we can improve, we feel like there's nothing I can do for you. I bring no value here. Like,
Exactly. And that's ego. That's pure ego. Like thinking that you can fix somebody, thinking that that you're the healer of the situation versus being a full version of yourself to meet someone else who's a full version of themselves and like, being in relationship in that kind of regard.
that's so emotionally intelligent of you to process that way. Like process because you process it as ego and me. Look at me in my mind doing you a favor, trying to help you. What a benevolent person I am.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I was exploring. It was
Yeah.
that savior complex of like, why do I have that inside of me where like my only way to show or be in love is when I'm having to like help somebody become the best version of themselves. And why am I not doing the same for myself? You
Yeah.
know?
Hey, what made you pick this as like your early singles? Like, is it in keeping with the vibe of the whole project?
Yeah, so this song is the most digestible on the album because I'm definitely talking my shit on this album. And the very first song that I was gonna drop, I can't say the title, but EOD
Yeah.
is the name of the like acronym for it. And it's very political and it's very just punch you in the face type shit. It's rock alternative. And I was on Dancing with the Stars a second ago.
Yes. Yes.
And so there's this kind of reintroduction of my energy into the American public
Yeah.
and like that specific American public that I was like, okay, we need my team and I both decided that it would be a better choice to put something out that's more digestible to a wider
Very, very.
audience to pull in that listener so that once I drop the shit that punches you in the face, they're actually already listening.
They're already here for it before they realize you're a radical leftist.
Exactly. We gotta breadcrumb them there.
It's so funny because that's what I associate. It's like funny the different worlds you could exist in because the way I associate you is that first. Like I have to like I'm like in my mind, and you know what's funny? Even my friends too. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be with Lauren or whatever. My best friend Mark was like, the really political one. That's what he called you. Like the Spice Girls, you got called the really political one.
Yeah, that's me. That's
Uh,
me, Miss Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm like, hey, America, I'm a pop star. Maybe you'll listen to me. Like,
Right. No,
we'll
but
see.
honestly, that's good, and that's what everybody claims, like, they wanna be seeing and wanna be seeing their faves doing, and you do it. My girl is political.
I try my best, man. This shit is crazy right now, though. Like, it's so crazy. I can't even keep up. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like,
Genuinely, yeah, like,
it's like
same.
eye twitching on a regular basis. I just don't feel. I
It's
don't feel
so
good, man.
bad. It's a regime. It's a reg we're in a
It's a full
regime.
blown regime. And I think also in that vein, when you're as visible as I am sometimes, because they invisibilize and visibilize me whenever they please. But,
Right.
for the sake of like, just coming off of this big show that's like very much everyone's watching it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's just, it's interesting how it kind of gags you naturally,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh,
Oh, that was so why that, like, work like a TikTok edit? It was like it felt like it came right
I
down like
did
my
it. I
girl,
grabbed
like
it.
yeah.
It just naturally kind of gags you because also I think just the slow but sure progression towards, I mean, we're already in fascism. We've always been in fascism. That's what the United States is built
Right.
off of, being a settler colonialist state. So but like this wool peeling off of everybody's eyes happening slowly but surely, you know, at the end of the day, when you're vocal, you're punished
Yeah.
one way or another. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely been something that's been following me for a really long time in
Yeah.
this industry, because this industry is run by,
Yeah.
folks who want to keep up the status quo.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Like, how do you feel like being politically outspoken has like impacted you in terms of your career and what you're doing? Because yeah, like those are two very different. Like one of the worlds that you exist in is one that squarely wants to be apolitical. Like be very political, but I want you to be apolitical in terms of what you say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, it has been difficult. I'm not gonna lie, especially since going independent. I went independent in 2020, and just the whole landscape of the way that the pandemic shifted just conscious thought around us and how we all very much went internal and online. I think that that combined with the fact that this industry is like constantly trying to silence or make especially women be just more entertainment pieces than anything else.
Yeah.
Like they hate an outspoken bitch. They just don't like me. And so it's been hard. It's been a challenge to find people who are willing to invest, people who are
Yeah.
willing to, go that extra mile to make sure that I can be as visible as I can be.
Yeah.
Um and there's just, the powers that be that will invisibilize you and will pretend like you don't exist and will kind of it's funny because I'm sorry, this should not be happening.
It's one of me actually. I love it.
It has been a little difficult to be honest, but at the end of the day, like this is also frivolous in comparison to the fact that our futures are at stake.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get in real life, I get a lot of people coming up to me being like, thank you for what you do. Thank you for speaking. Thank you. Like, I'm inspired by the fact that you do this. And that's what I kind of want to keep as my ethos because in the real world, people actually really value someone who speaks their mind, not just speaks their mind, but it's
Speak
you
some
know,
truth, right?
speaking truth to power. That's really my purpose. I feel like I have a lot of desire to just educate people and bring people into their own truths and like to discover these truths. Even though it's kind of difficult, especially for an audience that wants to just be entertained. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, honestly, and it's so unfortunate because we live in a time, especially with like our pop culture, our media, our accessibility, and whatever. Where it's, I feel like there are celebrities or pop stars and people who are like messy in a way that you are not messy. Like I find you, I'm like you keep it so cute, but it's just principled. It's just like this is what I think. And honestly, too, I always feel like you come at things from such a like inquiring mind. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's very like, all right, let me hear what y'all are talking about. This and the next thing. So it's so unfortunate to know that like no one is gonna be exempt from the powers that be not wanting to hear that shit. Like, stop it. Sing dance,
No.
bitch. Like,
Yeah, and I think that that's also kind of important to them, right? Because if you put someone who's eloquent and able to educate, or like you said, I am an inquiring mind. I'm learning in real time with everybody else. I'm
yeah.
29 years old. Trump's first presidency was my first time voting in an election.
Oh wow.
So I was extremely young and just vibrantly ready to fight.
Yeah.
And I feel like over the course of these 10 years that we've been dealing with this kind of unraveling of the social fabric of like what is correct and incorrect to like as far as the way we communicate and relate to one another, or
Yeah.
even make space for each other's truths. It's just been really wild to watch the devolution of people's critical thinking skills and ability to like see past lies and use their discernment or like care to do something about it. I feel like
Right.
they've been bullying us into submission for so long.
1000%.
And so I feel like, you know, the teeth have just dulled a bit.
What do you feel like was like your most radicalizing moment when you felt like, no, 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 it's necessary that I educate people, advocate in some way?
Honestly, I will. It was started with Trump's first presidency,
Yeah.
like even before he was elected. When he was on his campaign trail and he started up his just disgustingly dog whistle rhetoric and just started to demean so many different parts of who I am. I
Right.
come from immigrants. My grandparents are all from Kua, and I am queer and a woman. So I feel like all of those things were very
Like, what
much
the fuck
under
is going
attack.
on?
Yeah, and I again, I was 18 at the time. I had just turned 18 at the time, so I was very young and very uneducated politically, even like because
Yeah.
I didn't drop out. I graduated through homeschooling, but like I stopped going to school in 11th grade. And so, all of the political education that one gets in college, I didn't necessarily get firsthand, but I received it through my friends who were going to college and who were studying social justice and all these kind of, gender studies and all these things. And I was learning through books and I was learning through watching the way that everything was unfolding. And I think that, being in a pop girl band, I was just like, my soul wasn't ignited by that experience. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was more so a job, and I love it for what it was because it opened up so many doors for me and it was a beautiful opportunity to share my gifts.
Yeah.
But at the time, I felt very kind of directionless about purpose. You know, I was like, I'm in this, but this doesn't feel like I'm not making art that I'm passionate about, because
Yeah.
I'm not writing these songs. We're mostly talking about sex, you know, and so I it just wasn't fulfilling for me artistically.
Yeah.
And speaking out and speaking my mind and writing think pieces on Tumblr about my healing process, and then also my political education process, really ignited something inside of me, that made me feel passionate, that made me
Yeah.
feel like I had a purpose, and like this platform and this fame had, like, I had something to offer it, you know,
Yeah.
versus just getting up on stage and being pretty and dancing and singing. Like, there was something about being able to share my thoughts and express those thoughts and help educate people, that I'm really. But my mom's a teacher, my grandma was a huge on education, so like I think I always have had a passion for education
Yeah.
and learning. And I mean, I care about politics because politics cares about you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, our world is political, whether we like it or not. Like, to be apolitical is just to be unaware
Yeah.
of your reality, because every single thing that happens is decided by politics around us, especially in this country. So I don't know.
I
I just
feel
I
that
felt like I
completely.
needed more of a purpose, and that's why I got into it.
I feel that completely, and I understand what you mean. Like, I always knew I was going to be a lawyer, but when I went to undergrad, I thought I was going to be a divorce lawyer at first because I thought I was going to. I'm like, ooh, tea drama. That's going to keep me like fascinated. And then once I got in undergrad and I started taking the classes I was taking, African American Studies, like I joined the Center for Law, Justice, and Culture. If it didn't feel, I felt like people had this energy, especially not. It's funny actually thinking like what my 2011. That's when I went to college. Like I started college existence was versus the world now, because now everything feels politicized. Everybody feels very political. Everything is politics and everything that you do. Versus in 2011, what it felt like to me was that politics always felt like something everybody was trying to keep out the conversation. It was like, oh, don't talk about politics on a day. Politics was always something that was being shelved, and people were going about their interactions not really knowing it. And I remember like once I learned, like, oh shit, like you don't have windows in this room because it's cute. It's because it's laws that tells them that you need windows and this and the next thing. And I realized, like, oh, the law is always interacting with me. So I would like to interact with it and know what's going on. So I know where you're coming from on that.
100%, 100%.
How
That's
did you become, I don't actually know the Fifth Harmony lore and how you even became a part of a pop group. Like, how did it happen, Lauren? Tell us.
Yeah, well, when I was 15, I auditioned for X Factor.
I
And
did know this. I know there's someone your biggest fan somewhere is like this deadbeat bitch brought you up there.
no,
Because
I
that
love
is
this
some
though.
standard information, and I'm like, what?
No, it's fine. I love letting people know the story because it's interesting. It's actually really interesting. So I auditioned when I was 15. I went to a cattle call audition in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, North
Yeah.
Greensboro. That's where CJ's best friend lives.
Oh, cute. Yeah, I mean, I love that place. It helped me. It was the seed planting place for me, as far as my career goes. So I went there. I went to a cattle call audition, 10,000 people, got weeded out, and then was able to audition for the judges. And we went to the boot camp round, and by the third round of boot camp, everybody got eliminated that was in my group.
Yeah.
And then they brought us back on stage and were like, hey, here are four strangers. Like, the only way you can move forward is if you're in a group with them. And I was like, oh my God. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I knew they were looking for a girl group, but my prayer was,
Supposed to
hey,
be solo.
spare me from the girl group. I don't want to be in a girl group.
Yes. Okay. Like that's like on like making the band and stuff. How they did day 26, but then Donnie got lucky. Like, oh, Donnie got to be solo. Like, not you. Yeah, he's like,
Not me.
get in this group, ma'am.
Not me. Get in this group. And I was like, okay, like, it is what it is. So, we did that for 6 years. We were together. And it was a whirlwind of an experience because I was 16 years old going into the music industry by myself with no education at all about what it meant to be in the music industry. I was
Right.
plucked from obscurity, which, as these, shows do. They pluck young talent that don't really know what the hell they're doing or getting involved in. And they're like, hey, do you want to make your dream real? Here you go,
Right.
And so
That's real
That's what I
young. And
did. I
that
really
is,
wanted to sing. I loved singing, I loved dancing, and I wanted to be a singer when I was 15 years old. And so, yeah, I got into this group and then we did our thing. We really did our thing. It took a while to get to get it in motion,
yeah.
because most people know us for work from home, but work from home came in 2017 or 2016, and we our group was formed in 2012. So we have been working nonstop and touring nonstop and really going hard, as like really hard, up until that point. And then yeah, in 2018 I broke off and I started my solo career.
Listen, and we love it for you. The whole thing. It's really a testament to the fact that there's no overnight success. Like people think you're an overnight success because they just found out about you. They think, oh, you blew up, it just happened, but they don't see the whole thing. But also, 15 is crazy, and I say that as somebody who moved to this country alone at 14. Like I'm like, hey,
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
I'm like, I get it though, because I'm like, that was me, like, oh, I'm gonna go be a lawyer in America or whatever. Like, parents, please let me go. I'm gonna go over there. Let me figure this out. Let me pursue this. So I know what it is. I have a long-term vision and stuff, but it's still crazy when you're like a whole
So
adult.
good.
Oh, thank you. I think it's brave to go
Yeah.
be in a pop group and go like, to go
You
on
know,
a concert.
different types of bravery.
Like my you're gonna make me think. My senior year, I went to boarding school in West Virginia for high school. That is important context. Only
West Virginia?
West Virginia. West Virginia. Because
Lord, isn't that like crawling with military?
my boarding school used to be a military school that didn't let in women or blacks. Uh,
Well, shit.
It's so funny because my parents did not go to America. But my parents live in the Bahamas to this day. They don't. They watch the news. They're very like
They're like
politically
island
involved. But
life, babes. I don't need to be all up in that shit.
they don't realize they don't understand America by like the states. Like they don't get like my mummy didn't have any concept of like like how we say West Virginia and we all immediately like. Not
Oh,
my mother. My mother had one call with the headmaster and was like, he seems nice. He seems This one seems like the one to go to. Like,
oh my
lady,
goodness.
lady, what
Oh,
do you want?
oh my goodness.
But they
No,
made us. I remember one
but you made
time.
it.
Listen, but not without the kind of embarrassing stories I'm about to tell you. My senior year, they made us like learn. I don't remember what it was called, but it was some kind of play. It was always making you do shit. You got to do shit you can't do. Join a sport team when you're athletically inept, so I could lose in that. Then it's I must learn this choreographed dance for this thing. I don't. They had me going to practice every week for the longest. I remember in like senior year learning this choreography to Uptown Girl, which I don't even think should ever be danced to. Like I don't even
Never.
like.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
watch Girl Interrupt. Don't have me dancing to this. Like, hey, what are we going on? So I remember learning the now imagine being on the stage. I'm on the stage.
Oh
I
my
could see,
goodness.
like the audience is so funny because it feels just like a cartoon. Like I could see these people clearly, and I remember seeing my like ex boyfriend and his girlfriend, which was my former friend who like he cheated on me with and was dating now, and I could see them like directly eye
Oh,
contact, hating on me, like laughing, like and like oh I'm fucking up these steps now. Now I'm fucking up the steps to Uptown Girls with my ops looking me dead in my eye. I think I like to say I
damn.
think it's very
That's
brave.
traumatic. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Honestly, there's so much worse. Like that's not even
That's the surface.
if you know the kind of silly, embarrassing things that happened to me in school, like because like I'll give you another one. My boobs are bigger than my head, as you know, as you can see.
As you can clearly tell.
Right, as you can see. So they used to have us like running around the gym, the basketball court. You know the basketball court, dead, slippery,
Yeah,
slick.
super.
I trip, I fall, and because of my breath, it shoots me across the court. Like I'm telling you,
Not
shoots
you
me.
sliding like a little
Like
penguin. Oh
yes,
my god.
like shoots cross. Like when I tell you the coaches, everybody dead, dying. I'm just like,
Oh my god.
no, like these are, this was not meant for a certain level of physical activity. Please let me out of it. So
Oh
yeah, I
my
think it's real
goodness.
brave. I think that's some brave shit, sis. I also think it's
Brave.
even braver to go solo, especially when I'm like, there's it must be an understated amount of pressure to have millions of people who are fans, and really, especially when how people are into groups and things that are like, and like must be a lot of stress to go go solo in spite of that pressure to be a part of this, because people don't appreciate how long 6 years is. Like when people want some shit to be forever, they want you to
Yeah.
be like Boys to Men, like tour now, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, we had all auditioned as solo artists
yeah,
and then were put into a group. Something like Boys to Men, they formed that group with intention. Like they
yeah,
wanted to be a group. And I think that that was kind of the thing about us that made us really special was that each one of us was in our individual right, extremely talented.
yeah,
And then it made sense like at that point for all of us to just explore those creativities, those individual creativities that we hadn't really been able to do,
yeah,
because we had essentially given up our individualism to become a group.
yeah,
And in one regard, being a group is easier than being a solo artist because, a group is a group. Individuals are like, there's a million individuals that have music and are out here trying to make it. But
right,
when you're a group, it's kind of like it's a specific identity that's different. Like it's just a different category within the music industry.
yeah.
So it allows for, I think, more success because you're not just an individual doing it. Does that make sense?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
there's always something to, like, lean on. I even get it with, like, something that's much smaller, like a Olay and Friends, like, "Okay, somebody help me carry this week," like, all other people
Exactly. You
are.
help each other carry it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that, yeah, but for me, like making my own music was always something that I needed to do, like
yeah,
inside of my body. Like
yeah,
I really really needed to explore that, and I'm still exploring it. Like I'm still growing as an artist and finding myself because it was so many years. I think the thing that makes it difficult is that when you come from a group, people are constantly comparing you to the other people in your group,
yeah,
success wise or intention wise, art wise. Like it's just a constant comparison to those immediately around you, and then on top of that, when you go on solo, you're being compared not only to the other girls in your group, but then
now
everyone
there's a
else who's
yeah.
also solo. So it's interesting. It's been a really interesting exercise in self-worth.
I was just gonna
And
say, how do you get past all that noise?
it's difficult. It's difficult. I
Mm,
definitely was in avoidance for a long time and just kind of like trudging through. And then I think that the pandemic really sat my ass down and made me come to terms with a lot of my shadow self that I had not really been seeing. And then these past few years that I've been exploring that through my music have also been kind of difficult because it's like seeing all those parts of yourself, you don't really want to see it all the time. So then you keep running away from it. And I've been in that kind of cycle of self sabotage in some ways in that regard because there's the rejection element of our industry that like you get no's left and right even if
yeah,
you are somebody or people think you're somebody, like you get no's left and right and left and right, and that on one hand was very revealing to me about like how I felt about myself, and
yeah,
then also was very empowering for me because it just you have to triple down on how much you fuck with yourself. Like you
right,
really do. It's either that or you lose your sense of self completely.
yeah,
And you just become whatever people want you to be because that's usually what it is. It's like, "Oh, this isn't digestible enough. Like make something more pop or make something more this. You don't have a hit. This is not a hit." Whatever it is. And it's like, "Bro, I'm just exploring my soul here. Like
yeah,
I'm trying to be a vessel for God." Like I don't
yeah.
know. The industry element of stuff has never been my forte, so
I honestly, I can't even imagine being in your position, because even if somebody with like a much smaller platform and profile, whatever, and visibility than my pop star friend over here, like, I always find I'm like, I can't stand I just in general, I hate being like told what to do. I hate being instructed. I hate being given unsolicited advice. I hate being like people who think they're giving you constructive criticism, constructive feedback, who don't know the first thing about what you're doing, how you got it to where it's got, telling you to do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's infuriating.
infuriating.
I so I can't even imagine, because I tell myself every day that I'm like, I know that the success you want is on the end of you being able to deal with that. And I know that I can't. Like I'm like, I have,
1000%.
So I don't know, like, how you do that. I'm
I
impressed.
mean, it's something I work with every day, every day. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that ever gets easy to be, especially I feel like the internet has also gotten much more dogpiley lately than, I don't know if that's like recent or
It's
within the past
nastier
few
than ever
years.
before.
Yes, like I think when we digitized life and everybody just started living their life online, like comment sections and people's content being about talking about other people and their dramas and like their 2 cents on somebody else's life, like I think that that really got people fucked up, like the shade room and all these kind of places that like people love to comment about folks that they don't know personally
Strongly.
and like really comment in such a way where it's like you would think I lived with them, you know? And it's jarring because as an individual, you know, to be perceived or misconstrued in a way is
Yeah,
never easy. To
yeah,
have you know, a viral moment is never indicative of my entire being, but
right.
most people only see the viral moment. Most
I
people only see the meme or the thing that made them laugh or the thing that made me look really bad and
right.
really weird. You know what I mean? Like that's what people hyper fixate on as being my entire self. And so it gets harder to carve out, especially as an artist in this kind of age. I feel like, you know, the likes of Prince, he got to really like, you saw what he gave you to see. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And, you know, people are going to talk regardless, but at least there wasn't internet comments and like bloggers all the time. You know what I mean? There was like publications that I mean, even that though, tabloid culture is also fucked up. So I
that's the
don't know,
thing.
man.
There's like this
It's just
there's a very little way to unplug your from self from it. Like the most you can really do is like there's it's very difficult because people tell you
not
like,
read the comments.
oh yeah, don't read the comments and all this and the next thing yada yada. But I'm like the gag is it's like you have to, and if you want to build this career and do all of this, whatever, you have to be engaged. You have to give them something, or they're gonna say you're not giving them nothing. You're not doing anything. You're not playing the games. Like you have to play the game, but the game has an effect on you. When it has an effect on you, the people who need you to play the game and they like thrive off of being able to say and do whatever it is like about you and stuff. Don't want the humanity of like how that shit feels.
That's the thing. That's the thing is there's a deep lack of understanding that most of the people folks are talking about are human beings, you know?
Yeah,
And like we have our own inner worlds, our own fears, our own things that we're moving through and we just have to do it publicly, you know?
yeah.
Like folks aren't shining a light on everybody's skeletons. Our skeletons are here you go. You know, they're
That's why
out
I'm
and
excited for
about.
your solo. That's why I'm really excited for your album and like your solo music. Like, yes, let me hear Lauren because you're not messy. You know, I'm like, you don't be crashing out online. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, so I
I
can't
don't
wait. I'm like, tell me what you're feeling, Lauren. What are you thinking about? Like, I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for the project.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've poured my heart into this and like I think over the past couple years I've just been so disillusioned by reality
yeah,
and like I really think like when everything started going down again because it's been going down but in Palestine like
yeah,
that really there was a sense of revelation that came upon me that I didn't have before. Like
yeah.
I wasn't aware of how deep this shit is and how entrenched and evil shit is. Like I
Right.
really wasn't aware that it was that serious because I'd never seen, I mean I had seen Trump lie in real time, but I really thought that the Democrats, like I actually did believe in the political system. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I believed in the checks and balances system. I believed that the Supreme Court would uphold the Constitution. I believed, you know, that a Democrat wouldn't lie to me because the Democrats were the good side of things, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
was very young and naive at the time, obviously. I was
Mhm.
23, 24.
Yeah.
So it's like in real time I've been politically educated as all of these things are being revealed to us and it's terrifying.
It is. No, it absolutely is. And trust me, I know you feel. I'm like, I'm an immigrant here still. You're like,
Yeah,
I've never voted because I can't vote. Like,
literally. That's yes, which is crazy. Like, and I also, you know, we all have different ideas of what the solution is going to be, but we all can't get on the same page, and that's even more terrifying because the opposition is
we're
very well lubricated
we're
as
so
far
busy
as
fighting each other.
we're so busy fighting each other
Yes.
because we're scared. Like
Yeah.
realistically, like all of us are just like trying to figure out what the best way to move forward is, because we know that there's a problem and we know it needs solution, but we're being lied to all the time. And that
Yeah.
is so exhausting to have major news publications literally lie in real time. And
And
like,
there's
what are you
so
supposed to trust? And that's the point. The point
yeah,
is to lead us into a space of complete distrust so that we can't even build together. And
yeah.
I can feel that happening. I felt that happening over the past 3 years in a way that was really alarming. And I was just like, I can't just talk about this online in hot takes, because this is so much deeper than that. So I think that this project is really like an exploration of that inner world and what how this affects my inner world, and then the world around me, like the collective that I'm a part of, whether I like it or not.
I think that is really what's the word? Like speaking to the times that we're in. You know what I mean? Like really like what the time calls for. And that
Yeah.
is I'm proud of you, sis. I'm happy for
Thanks.
you. Like, truly,
Thank you.
honestly, you're fucking amazing. Speaking of being amazing, I watched all your dancing. Have I ever watched Dancing with the Stars before? No, I haven't. Have I watched it after you left? No, ma'am. Did I watch any of the performances?
Ew.
But I loved your performances. I was like, look at my bitch eating it up. What was
Thank
that
you.
like? What was that experience in Dancing with the Stars like?
Honestly, it was really great.
Yeah,
I loved it. I liked getting to dance and move my body and be taught. Like that was I love learning, and I love learning things in my craft zone. So
yeah,
I love to dance, and my partner Brandon was so awesome and such a great teacher. And so I was really like in there, like I was rehearsing every single day, 4 hours a day, dancing. And I think it was really good for my soul. And that's why, like, when I got eliminated, I was so upset, because I was just like, damn, like, I didn't want this to end. I really
right.
wanted to be able to continue to do this. And also, it was a great opportunity to show people my own personality
Yeah,
outside of. Because if you don't keep up with me, you don't really know me, because
yeah.
I'm not really out there like that. So it was a fun opportunity, and I honestly, I'm so grateful. I met so many great people. Folks were so sweet, and like it was a really great experience. Honestly,
It looked dope. It looked like
very
you had a
wholesome.
good it looked like you had a good time, and I love that for you. And I do love you being able to show your personality because it's funny. I feel like the different eras of like when I think of the first time like I ever seen you or thought of you, it came to like my mind as like, oh, pop people, you have such like you seem so mysterious, and I think that's so. I think that's so funny that like I'm like you seem like so mysterious to me, and I'm like now I'm like oh. My very
Right.
politically active leftist sister. Like, you know,
That's the
like, oh,
Scorpio moon. It's all an illusion.
right. And I
I
love
am
it.
literally such an open book energetically. Like once you get to know me, or if
Like,
you get the right interview out of me, you know what I mean? I have
right.
a lot to say.
It's the eyes. It's the eyes vibe. I'm looking, I'm like, very
Smolder,
like, yeah,
smolder.
very a la like sexy scar. Like, that's what it's giving.
I'll take it.
Yeah, like the scar is the flyers.
Scar is the flyest.
Scar is so
She's
fly. I'm such a Scar stan. I'm a full Scar apologist. You wouldn't be surprised my defense attorney ways. I love Scar. Be fully on my nigga side. I'm so fucking defense attorney filled. Every respect,
I love it. I
all the
literally love it.
time. It's such a mess. But you're right to what you were saying. About like even watching how we're being lied to and what media and all of this has become because I was watching even before we got in there, I was watching like highlights from the New York City mayoral debate. And I was like, the news put together little compilations. And please tell me why CBS and mainstream media, places that are not even like right wing or whatever, we're talking about Curtis Sliwa like a serious candidate. Like talking about cool. I'm like,
And are. And I saw the comments too on YouTube about a lot of people are like talking about him. And I was
Curtis
like,
is hilarious, like very funny, very funny, big time. I'm like big time New York City standing comedian. Curtis, big funny, but Curtis is unserious. I'm like they talking like I'm like have y'all ain't never seen Curtis blog? Like, y'all, they were picking like it was so funny to me, like the picking and choosing of what kind of clips they were choosing for him. Like, oh, like he's talking sensibly versus my man, and they're like, "Stop glazing me, bro." To Zora and say, I swear to you, says this in the middle of the day. He's so funny. Like,
so unserious. So
yeah,
unserious.
yeah. No, our political, I don't. I don't know what to do about what
I don't know what to do, girl. Like that's really where I'm at with it. I'm like, I could keep talking and I could keep whatever, but at the end of the day, it's like that's not gonna get us anywhere because this shit is imploding in front of our face. Like,
Right. I don't
we gotta
relate.
start building for the aftermath, is my opinion now. Like, I'm not, I'm tired of trying to save something that's already broken and been broken. You know what I mean? And it's like the places that it's devolved to, like, as far as, it's just, I listen to people speak and my gut is like, they're lying. This is
Right.
just pure lies and pure propaganda and got you moments and like quips and shit. And it's like real, in real time, real people are losing their lives and their minds and
Yeah.
their livelihoods and their homes and their, benefits and their jobs. And like, that's all happening in real time. And that's just going to create the chaos that they want. They
Yeah.
need that chaos because that's the only way they have control.
That's
Is it
intentional. They call it like, even like how would like, especially how Donald Trump them frame like their strategies like to flood the zone, basically to do so much bad shit and overwhelm us with so many executive orders, so many challenges, so many fucked up things that we can't possibly address it all. And they're correct. It's like you're
they are
overwhelmed.
correct.
Yeah,
It was
you're
a great
overwhelmed.
strategy. They did their thing.
Yeah, it becomes like
Congratulations. You are the most evil motherfuckers on the planet. You
I
did it.
I promise you, and it's like it's funny because I have a platform I report like known for this political advocacy XYZ, but I've my entire time in America, long before I had a platform, I tell people like I'm an immigrant and they just do not understand when I say that. Like, I'm like, I don't mean my parents. I don't mean that. I mean me, status wise.
Me.
Like, I'm like, believe it or not, I'm like, I don't have the same level of safety as my other peers with this following have. In fact, this following is making me endangered. Like, it is making me unnerved every day of this administration that they grab immigrants who are far less known, who wrote blog posts no one saw, not me talking to hundreds of thousands of people. And so it's like, I'm like, I can't really, I feel at a standstill and a crossroads because on one level, it's literally dangerous. It's literally dangerous to me in a way that like in my people and people in my life are like, what are you gonna do? Like, set yourself on fire just so everybody can watch you burn, just to say you did it. And then two, I'm like conflicted with what I believe my advocacy or political commentary or advocacy is supposed to be, because at some point I used to feel like I'm doing this because I'm trying to point out problems that other people don't know exist. That's what it felt like I
Exactly.
was doing. I'm trying to tell you about records. I'm trying to tell you about the stuff you don't know about. Now
Exactly
it
the
feels
same.
like we all can see it's on fire. So am I just supposed to keep telling you every day it's on fire? And I don't know if that's like, I haven't come to a conclusion whether or not that's even worthwhile or just something that I feel like I need to do just so you know that I see it and or that I care. But I'm like, do you need
Yes.
me to
No,
tell you?
dude, I feel this so deeply. I feel so reflected in what you just said because like exactly like what you just said, I the reason that I started doing this and the reason why is because I felt like there was an importance and a power behind show revealing things,
Right,
by revealing like, hey, like maybe people just don't see these connections, maybe people don't see how this is all connected to this deep rooted problem, that which is, white supremacist empire.
right,
And like, but then now that it's on full display in such a way, the people who don't see it are willfully not seeing it.
right,
And they're in denial.
right,
And they are purposefully in that space because of very severe propaganda that
right.
is so deeply embedded in their belief system, their own identities. That's the thing, is like we're asking people to abandon their identities for
Yeah,
truth. And most people are just simple and don't want to do that. Like they don't
right,
have the capacity to, they don't have the brain power to, not as an insult, just as a
right,
literal observation. Like they don't have critical thinking skills. They don't have political education beyond their own like lived experience,
right,
And so how am I, or how are any of us really supposed to contend with that in a way that's effective and not harmful to ourselves? You know what I
right.
mean? And exactly what you just said. I have literally the past 4 years of my life struggled deeply in my career
Mm,
because, and not because I'm not talented or capable or whatever, but just because I'm not resourced. There are
yeah,
no resources for somebody who speaks their mind. There are no resources for somebody who is out here and not just going to be a puppet.
right,
Unless you make it happen for yourself, which is what I've been trying to do, and I do in my own regard. But it's very difficult to maintain a pop star lifestyle. You know what I
right,
mean? When you don't have resources and when you're pulling from the very, and also independent, right? Because I'm not signed anywhere. So I don't have, because, signing to a major or anything is just a bank. It's a
right,
loan. You get this money invested in you so you can make your art. And, you know, if it's a volatile market where like AI is coming in and folks are like digitizing everything and just hyper exploited. My industry is hyper, artists are hyper exploited, you know?
Yeah.
To add all those layers of being independent, being outspoken, and all these shit, it's just like, do I really want my life to be that fucking hard? Like, for what? What
Right.
am I actually doing that's impactful at the end of the day? If I'm just pointing out what everybody's also seeing, you know, like it is what it is. So that's why I feel like I'm more focused right now on my music,
Yeah.
like speaking through the art. You know what I mean?
And I
And
think
like
that's
allowing the art to speak for me instead of just concerning myself with every single hot topic that comes up, because there's just too much shit happening. And honestly, like my nervous system is suffering. Like
honest to God, like honest
feeling
to
like I'm
God.
in charge of educating people. Like fuck
It
that.
makes you
Like
like it does something to you. Like you feel yourself like to a certain level of like misery. You know what I mean? Like how you're like responding to
absolutely.
things, feeling about things. I completely get it because that's where I'm at. I'm at a place of feeling like, all right. I first of all, I think with the kind of what's happening in this regime, to me personally, that's my own. I feel like I have to return to traditional writing in the sense of I feel like the political, like I'm like, I feel like I have to write a book, like the political observations and things that I'm having. That's what I feel like I need to be. I'll write a book. Like I will write a comprehensive piece of work that feels meaningful rather than me feeling like I'm engaged in a what feels like outrage economy rat race of what the social media algorithms are meant to do with these serious things and stuff. I don't. So I think that's what I
Like
want to
we
do.
make the billionaires money at the end of the fucking day.
I'm saying like even
At
you
the end of the fucking day, I'm on TikTok and Twitter, and I'm not on Twitter, but you know, I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram, and fucking Zuckerberg is making money off of my
It
hot
is
thoughts.
always one,
Like,
and they're doing fuck shit and ain't shit you could do. But I like literally, I saw, they've started a bunch of these different companies are running ice ads, and I saw like, which is infuriating. And I was like, oh, I was
infuriating.
like, oh, I might want to like switch from Spotify or whatever when I saw that. And then I saw like a list of who all's doing it, and I saw YouTube, and I was like, fuck, I can't even do shit about that. YouTube is well, what the fuck am I gonna? I'm like, look
And
how
that's
they
the thing
get
with
you.
me. Like, if I don't do Spotify, right? Because I'm thinking I'm out here like, okay, well, Spotify literally just updated their terms and conditions to where they can literally rip my shit, remix it, and sell it off like without my consent and use it to train their AI now. Like that is
So
a terms
fucking
and conditions. And it's like, and if you don't put your music on Spotify though, you don't
no
have
one's
the
gonna listen to
data
it.
that is necessary to get a deal. You know what I mean? Like so I can't be anti Spotify because Spotify has a complete monopoly over the music industry. You
It's
know
a
what I mean?
nasty, dirty race with stuff like that. Oh my god, I feel like the
And
content
then you try to
creators.
get out of it. You try to like do the alternative thing. You're like, I'll make my own app or I'll do this or I'll do that. But folks don't give a
That's what I'm
fuck.
saying. Like it is, people don't.
They're
People
subscribed to where they're
underestimate.
subscribed
And if
and
you
they're
said this to
comfortable.
people, they'd probably be like, "You have 4 million followers. You probably can get." They have no idea how many people see your thing versus invested in you would go to another app or a place for you. Like they don't
Or
see.
shadow banning.
I'm
Like
saying, oh
I
my
don't I
god.
have 12.1 million followers on Instagram and like maybe a 20th of that gets to see my content.
That's what I'm saying. They don't see these things, these algorithms, all these things are like set up against you, and it's a nasty game. With you mean like
It's
I
like if you
need
don't
this.
comply, you are punished and
Ye-
invisibilized at all
That's
times.
that's how I feel. With like I don't see the design, especially as a creator, as an actual creator who monetizes and makes money from content or whatever. I know logically that it does not make sense really for me to be posting on Instagram and TikTok like that. It really doesn't. YouTube is where it makes sense to have a following and do well and make money and blah blah blah. But for whatever reason, the brands or just the places, the rooms that you think you want to be in or whatever, only care for like they're like looking at Instagram or short form, even though those creators are not able to like eat off that for real. Like that's not where it matters. Their followers are not a TikTok follower is not made equal to like a YouTube follower, and they're not invested in them or whatever. And but you lose regardless because this is what they care about. They're like, oh, they're looking over there, like, oh, what's the Instagram numbers on there? What's blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Yeah, because all they care about is like perceived
visibility.
data.
Yes.
Like everything is data driven now, and
Yeah.
data can be manipulated. Data can be like again, like even the concept of an algorithm, like you get to choose what I see. Like
Right.
that in itself is like such a violation of our own freedom of expression and like ability to consume, even like our
Yeah.
consumerism is even being tailored to the powers that be's
Yeah.
agenda. So it's like, and because everybody's digitized and everybody wants to be an influencer or a content creator now, like that's the main focus of so many people, is like they know, oh, if I share my thoughts and opinions, or if I share, like, the things that I know, the skills that I know, then I can make money off of that online. So we're basically working as like advertising agents for all of these bigger corporations. You know what I mean? It's like
All the time.
they need the micro influencers, so you don't get a big campaign anymore. You get
Right.
like a couple $1,000s so you could post a TikTok about it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because that's more lucrative for the company,
Yeah.
And so it's like, and granted, am I going to do those advertisements? Yes, I am, because I
Yes.
need to, bitch, we
Yes.
live in
Because
capitalism.
you
I
got
don't have a
bills to
choice.
pay. Yes. Bills to
And
pay.
I'm not willing to sacrifice my myself anymore for
Yeah.
anything. Cause like I really have done that. I've done the martyr thing. I've done the I'll turn down all this money,
I'm
and
doing
I've turned down a
everything
lot of
free.
fucking money. I really have,
I
like,
I know
for
how
my
you feel.
morals. But like at the end of the day, I'm just on my ass without a check
Right,
or
and
a
that's the thing,
house.
and when you don't have, no one is going to help you. Like, you could tell your so even if you people will give you all the lip service in the world, all this ass, or, "Oh, it should be in whole da da da," but ain't nobody gonna do shit for you. It's only incumbent on you to figure out how to make shit shake, how you gonna take care of yourself, how to pay the bills, how to XYZ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and do I want to live my life for the world that I envision? Absolutely. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I really do, and I've tried to do that, but the tentacles of the entity are so deep inside of everyone. And until the majority of us get on the same page of like, hey, like, let's stop investing in the things that are killing us, like,
Mhm.
until people actually care about that, there's not much I can do to change people's minds about that. You
Yeah.
know, I can only do what I do through example and like through my art. Like that's really the only place that I feel like I have any kind of power anymore. It's just like I just communicating when I feel, and I don't even feel like communicating that much no more, man. I haven't been online like that, like from my perspective, like me telling you what I think about things. I
Yeah.
haven't done that in a really long time because
It
it's
feels
just it's
useless.
in a void. It's in a void. Yes, it
Yeah.
feels useless. And I also was focusing so much of my energy on that I wasn't even making art anymore. And I
Yeah.
was like, what am I even doing if I'm like, am I an artist? Are people following me because I'm an artist, or am I just
You
a,
don't even know
another
that.
pissed off constituent? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, because the is because you know you're multidimensional and you know you're engaging in the different like dimensions of you, but people still tend to receive you in the dimension that suits them, that they want, and only through then they filter everything through that lens. So it's a tricky game, and I know what you mean in the sense of you can get compelled, especially with the internet and social media and all these things, to feel like you got to engage with whatever the algorithm and everyone else is talking about today and give your thoughts on that. And by the time you're doing that, you never have space or capacity or time and energy for like the shit that you really want to say, the deep thoughts, the like the work that you want to put out. And I get that. That's why I'm excited for your album, because I'm like, that's why I'd be hyped for my productions. Like, let me write a video essay. I don't want to talk to y'all about every little individual thing. Let me give you a
dude, your
long
video essays are
essay.
so
Oh,
good.
thank you, sis.
Literally, I love your video essays so
Thank you,
much
sis.
because
I so
they're
appreciate it.
important, man. They're important. Your perspective is so vital, man.
Thank you,
I
sis.
really do feel that way. Like I feel like you do really important work because that shit that you did on Eric Adams. I have never been so educated about a
He
candidate in my life. You know what I mean? And like
said, I
that's,
now know all his business.
oh, I know all his business. Fuck that man. It's crazy. But like it's just those things, and when you really realize, and I think that's another thing, like when you really realize who these characters are
Yeah.
and how evil so many of them are,
Yes.
and how bought into that
Yes.
the average person is,
Yes.
I'm like, I can't fix this.
No, it is truly wild. But that's the thing. And that's also like, it's another testament. Like, that's why I feel like with stillness, I guess, kind of unplugging from the noise can allow you to do. Because for me, like those things, like I know I feel that way. Like everybody else was not no like, but when I started like being upset about Eric Adams and like I need y'all to understand how bad this is.
But you
This
did
was
your thing though, because that man had to drop out.
Oh, I listen, I do feel very like I feel very a part of the reason that Mads Pop like a second term is not
You
happening
are
for him.
1000%.
Thank you.
1000%. I will never take that away from you.
And it feels nice because that's a thing that makes you feel like, is reminded what we could do when we're not when we are outraged, when we're righteously outraged and we're righteously politically involved, but we're not caught up in the noise. Like, because like for me, everybody was not talking about Eric Adams. Like when I was upset about Eric Adams and let me tell you all this and Rikers and bill reform, these are things that I was upset about. And if I like at the time, it's like, okay, fuck what everybody's talking about. I'm so upset about this is I'm gonna make this big production. This is what I'm going to, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna put this out into. And that allows you I feel like, wow, I was in the basement, a broke public defender living in my basement, like managing to be madder than 10 million people. And I'm like, that felt like such righteous outrage. Like, oh, look, that was beneficial. That wasn't whatever. And I feel like I can do that when I don't get caught up on what everyone's telling me to talk about and
The
do and blah, blah, blah.
clips.
Yes, the every little day to day, what do I like? Even I'm like, I put on my like politics of ugliness video the other day. That was I felt like, oh, this feels so meaningful. This was so much work. This feels so good. I can only do that when I give myself permission to not participate in what everyone is talking about. Like, okay, like,
100%.
yeah, that's why the art is important.
Absolutely. And I really commend you because you really be educating people, and that's what's vital, you know? And I think that that's in the vein of, I think my focus right now is how can I be a steward of New Earth?
Yeah,
How can I be a part of the group of us and all of us who are here to help plant the seeds of a new reality that's coming regardless?
yeah.
Because this is on its way out. This is the
Regardless if we're
collapse of an
ready.
empire. We're just alive for it, you know?
Mhm.
Like, greater empires have fallen,
Yeah,
and they are in the stage of like lashing out as they go down. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So they're going to bring everybody they can with them. And so, how do I, instead of participating in that rage bait ass world that's going to always have something for me to talk about, there's
yeah,
always going to be a new headline, a new thing somebody did that's fucked up, you know? How can I, like, what is it that's needed?
yeah,
What is it that we need for people to fall into instead as they fall out? You
yeah.
know, like, that's what I'm more interested in, and that's what I want my art to guide me towards, is
That's a
creating
really
those
good question.
realities.
That's a really good question. Like, what is there for people to fall into? And I think that like that's a good like motivating, like guiding light, and like how am I approaching like what I'm gonna say in my advocacy. Like I don't want to just tell you that like it's burning, like the world's on fire outside. It is. You can see that, but like what else can I tell you if there is
Yeah.
anything?
Or like, what are we building around ourselves and
Yeah,
with each other to combat that world, you know?
yeah,
We do need to understand like the power of community. We do need to understand the power of education. So how do we make that our goal and our focus? And I think you do that really well, actually, because I feel like your platform is very much about educating people towards what we can be. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that's the vital work, I think, in this time, is to be able to plant those seeds of like hope of a world beyond the reality that we're all being subjected to, because it's also non-consensual
yeah.
and simulated. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it's all coercive control, and most people, I think the average person is not evil by
Yeah.
nature. You know, they're just highly miseducated and deeply traumatized, because we
Yeah.
live in a very traumatizing society, like, in all aspects, and that's by design.
Yeah.
From when you're a child, from when you are pregnant giving birth, the way we give birth in this country, you know what I'm saying? Like, even that in itself is by design to inflict
No,
trauma.
it like literally is. Quite literally is. Yes.
Yeah,
Gonna
so
like
it's like,
bring it back.
how do we be a part of the solution, in that sense of like, what balms are we creating for people to heal with, you know?
Yeah. Oh, Lauren, you're no, I like when I talk to somebody and they make me feel like, oh, I feel seen and understood, but also like, oh, you give me a little bit more like revitalized optimism. Like, God.
Yeah, girl, I gotta do that, because if not, I'm just like spiraling out of control all the time.
Honestly,
Like
same. Because I be having to read. I'm
at
like,
least
it's all right.
3 times a day, I'm like, we're fucked. Like
Oh,
we're
that's me every day.
so
That's me every day.
fucked.
Every day. Every time CJ gonna show me something like CJ, I know. I know. We're
I
in a
know.
regime. The world is I know. You don't
I
gotta tell me.
know.
You don't gotta CJ. I know. Like, that's me every time. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm it's a crazy time we're living in, sis. It is a
It is.
crazy, crazy time. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one like random, lighthearted, easy question before I free you to live your life. Who who, if anybody, what star, singer, anybody like inspired you, made you think, yeah, yeah, I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to do this.
Hmm.
Yeah, who's your queen?
I have a wide range,
Give
but
me.
it definitely Christina Aguilera
That's
is
my
one of the
bitch, and that's what I was arguing on my last episode when I told you I was going down pop land. I told you I know my pop girlies in real life. You
listen,
see me?
that's one of my moms for real. I
Yes.
loved Christina so much growing up. I watched her concert videos. I watched everything that she did. Her voice, just I was obsessed with her. And I loved her in burlesque. Like I just followed her
That's what I
entire
said.
career.
The eras of Christina. I was like, y'all got it. Christina is a different bitch every era. And that bitch eats every era.
Every era, and I love her down. Her, I would say Haley Williams is huge for me.
Okay. Yes. Yes. A lot
Yeah,
of
lead
people love
singer of
Haley. We
Paramore.
love Haley.
I love Haley. I think that her music and her vulnerability in her songwriting has always been so inspiring to me.
Yeah.
And like that's my favorite band. So I think that
How very
I
black of you,
really
Lauren.
heavily identify with her. And so and like her ability to communicate her truth and as it's evolved too. Like I love where she's reached right now with her
Yeah.
solo project. Like
And she's also someone who's very like, politically
sh-
she's gonna speak.
yeah, but
Yeah.
she took her time to educate herself too, because like
Yeah.
of course she didn't start off that way,
Yeah.
but she's always been emotionally aware and intuitive through her music. So you know that she's always had those internal questionings of what's going on around her, you know? And I
Yeah.
think that that's deeply inspiring for me as an artist and as a performer. She's an amazing performer.
Yeah.
She has so much light, so much energy, and her voice is just so fucking powerful. And then I would say Beyonce as well.
Of course. It's only right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Beyonce is that girl, will always be that girl. And she has always inspired me. Her entire career has inspired me. Like I just love her dedication to detail and excellence is
Yeah.
just it's unparalleled in this generation. And I really just admire her and her
Yeah.
ability to show up as a star. The way that she shows up in the world as a star is just so special to me.
Oh, that's giving me another question then, another random question before I for you.
Yes. Fire up,
What
baby.
concert have you ever who did you see perform, or so what performance did you see like in life that you were like in awe of?
Beyonce.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's
And
what made me think. Yep, I
I
went.
was in absolute awe
I
when I
was at
saw this. And
Renaissance
also when
like
I was
this,
younger,
looking
I
at the
went to the
crowd.
Monster Ball. Sorry, what?
I said I was at Renaissance looking at the crowd like this, like
Literally.
looking around and saying like I can't even believe this.
Yeah. I've been to every concert of hers since her self-titled album.
You said I'm
And
a real. I'm in the hive.
yeah, I'm very much inside of the hive. Very much inside of the hive. Yeah, I think she's so special and her visuals, her work ethic, the choreography, everything is just so spectacular, literally
Yeah,
to watch. And I love that. I really admire that and the way she puts on a show. I also went to the Monster Ball, like the original Monster Ball, Lady Gaga.
yeah,
She's also another one on my list of people I'm deeply inspired by.
yeah.
Because she was like my entire seventh grade through high school. Like I was obsessed with
I
Lady
loved
Gaga.
I loved Lady Gaga in like grade 10, like loved her. I loved her like paparazzi Just Dance era. And then I think I was like fake Christian for like a couple years and it was like, oh, I don't like Judas.
He's the
I'm
demon.
like, yo, it's so funny because I'm like very not religious and almost like, but I don't know why. But in the years where Tyler the Creator had Yonkers and Lady Gaga had like Julius and Alejandro, I was like, ah,
We're like,
ah.
we're being
I
infiltrated.
swear to God, now I look at people like it's funny because that's how people carry on with like Lil Nas X and shit now, and
And
like when
Doja, they
Doja
tried to
and
play
when
Doja
Doja
like
had,
that.
and I'm like, y'all are so fucking ridiculous. But I
It's
see
just
what
folks
stupid
don't
was.
have critical thinking
Yes,
skills. They can't look at art from that perspective. Like Doja's entire project was a literal like commentary.
Yeah.
It was literally a commentary about like she used it pissed me off that nobody got that. Like, oh my god, she's perpetrating demonic shit. It's like, no, she's using that as
Right.
imagery to like, and it's working because it's
Yeah.
pissing you off. Like she's a troll. Like she's trolling you. Like that's what's happening.
And they're like, cut it out, bitch.
Mm-mm.
Where's the pink?
Yeah.
Like,
Literally, literally, they want the pop star because people want things that are digestible. People don't want to think too hard, and
and they
that's
get mad when you say that. That's the thing. That's exactly what they want. But when you say that, like when Doja said as much about like, oh, y'all loved like my Planet Her, my hot pink era or whatever because it's this, they're like, bitch, what? What the fuck did you say to me? Like,
yeah, because you're technically insulting their intelligence. You know, at
right.
the end of the
And
day.
it's funny how you could insult your like you're insulting them by insulting your own shit. Like if anything, like it's our own stuff, and they're like, don't you fucking dare. I lay own.
Literally,
Like,
literally.
thank you so much, sis. This has been great.
Yes.
Stop what you're doing and listen up. You just watched a video on one of my channels, but the Illuminati verse is huge, and I want to tell you what everything is and how to find it. The Illuminati verse has 6 channels. On the YouTube homepage of any one of those channels, every single channel in the Illuminati verse is featured at the bottom of the page, so you can always easily find them. Okay? Remember I said that. Don't say I ain't tell you how to find it. Subscribe to my main channel, Illuminati, to find my Illuminati productions, which are my long-form video essays and also all of my backlog of content. Subscribe to my second love child, Illuminati Pop, for my weekly video essays analyzing my favorite TV and movie shows and characters. Illuminati Pop also has its own Patreon where you get all of those videos uncensored. Subscribe to my channel, Olay and Friends, for my podcast, Olay and Friends. New episodes of Olay and Friends come out every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe to Olay and Chill for new episodes of my podcast, Olay and Chill, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And also, both Olay and Friends and Olay and Chill are both available on streaming platforms like Spotify. Subscribe to Illuminati Bites if you want my takes, but you don't have an hour to spend. Subscribe to Illuminati Politics for my political analysis and my State of the Union type addresses on my show O Squared. And last but not least, subscribe to my Substack Illuminati for my written work.